All right, ladies and gentlemen, this fight will be 3 5-minute rounds for the title. Your referee is Todd McGovern.
Tucker Lutz in the red corner, Oscar Remirez in the blue corner. You heard the call there, 3 5-minute rounds. 3 5-minute rounds, a little bit different than what we've seen the rest of the evening. 5'8" for Tucker Lutz, 5'7" for Oscar Remirez. Here we go, right out to the middle of the cage. Both fighters touch gloves on top of the Domino's logo.
Nice left hook right away from Oscar Remirez, countering the lazy jab there of Lutz. Lutz, by the way, going to a nice left hook to the body. So right away, these guys showing why they're undefeated.
This belt is open right now, so this is anybody's fight.
I was just about to say Remirez was a little bit too close in the pocket, and then he ducked the punch to get double underhooks here, or at least one underhook. That made sense.
Remirez in the blue gloves, Lutz in the red gloves. Lutz with his back up against the cage here. Ramirez just being a little bit aggressive, like you said, a little double underhooks. He makes his way around.
It's funny, the previous scouting report on Ramirez has him as a counter grappler, but obviously counter grapplers can be more offensive if they want to be. Maybe sometimes they just don't prefer it. I like how he's coming out here aggressive right away. Lutz giving him everything he can handle, of course, but I just mean to say he's not waiting back for Lutz to do something.
In both these fighters, we've seen them before. They love being on the ground. Both of them want to be on the ground, so it's strange for us to see it. Nobody wants to be first to the ground, so they're going to try to stand up.
Here we go. He's about to get a ride. Once you get the hands clasped like that, and look, we've been talking about it all night. How about that crossface? Now he's leaving it out to get an elbow. But you can see, oh, here, I don't know if it's tight enough exactly. He's on the wrong side. Trying to get a guillotine. You see him hand fighting there. Lutz gets out.
Remirez on the bottom, Lutz on the top. They make their way right here in front of the table.
Remirez does a good job pushing on the hip to get butterfly guard, using the guillotine threat to stand. This is what I'm talking about before. You know, a lot of guys will just sit there and play guard or hold on and wait for a stand up. If you don't have a guard, a submission right away, stand, get up. And if you don't know how to do that, learn.
Phenomenally tucked down. That's unbelievable. That's 2 in this round, and still a long way to go. Throughout the evening, it seemed like it would be coming up to the end or middle of the round, and now we're talking about 3 5-minute rounds. 5 minutes is going to be an eternity from what we're used to seeing.
So you see the right hand of Lutz on the mat, though. If Ramirez's guard is good enough, he's going to be able to do something with that. Now, obviously, the circumstances change.
Great elbows.
Phenomenal elbows
When it happens right here in front of our table, Luke, you can hear him land. I mean, those was 2 great right elbows to the face of Ramirez.
Good job getting a bicep control there. Looking for a triangle choke. Here it comes. You see him pressing down. It's going to get. There we go. Nice job backing out of that by Lutz. And great job threatening underneath by Ramirez. He's not letting him just posture up and throw. He's having to pick his time to do that. Here it comes. Same side of the opposite. Same submission, opposite side. He can go to omoplata if that doesn't work either.
Both fighters right here in front of us. I mean, we could reach out here and touch them if we wanted to. They're right in front of the cage. Tucker Lutz on top still in the red gloves. Oscar Remirez in the blue gloves. On his back, 24 years of age. He's 4-0, fighting out of the Trident MMA. Ground control from Baltimore for Tucker Lutz.
Great job by Tucker Lutz, by the way, using his head as a sort of a grinding post.
Good left. As much fun as this is right here in front of the table, it's been great all night that this hasn't happened to us.
Yeah, thank God. Last time I did this, I had to wash blood off my laptop.
Yeah, we were covered in blood.
He could have a mounted guillotine here if he wants, or a darce. I can't quite see where his other hand is. No, it's more just the head is wrapped.
I love when you get the new terms out for me. The Nazi.
No, I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
No, there's no Nazi.
I thought you said Nazi guillotine. Remirez has been on the bottom now for almost a minute and a half as Lutz has been in total control, moving him around the ring.
And you see him using his guard to threaten a little bit here, but there's the triangle. Brilliant job. The same side. The question is he too high or not? He needs to underhook the leg so he doesn't get slammed. Or he might go for the armbar. I can't quite see it on the other side. What a phenomenal. We talked about him being a counter grappler. Playing guard underneath. Phenomenal job.
Leah's just pulling tight on that. Let's see if
it might happen.
He never lost control. He just got slammed. Lutz could be in trouble.
If you have a triangle on someone and they try to stand, underhook the leg, they can't come up.
The strength of Lutz right here, the back muscle.
Pulling down on the head.
Yes. It's going to slip out. I don't think he's got it.
He's not, I don't know if it's going to slip out, but it's that portion of the top of his left leg should be over the neck.
Right.
You see, it's kind of over that shoulder.
Right.
If I'm Remirez, he needs to underhook his left leg underneath the right leg of Lutz, and then use that to then turn the choke.
And Lutz is still throwing blows.
Now it's a little bit tighter, but it's a little bit too late. Here's the question.
End of round 1.
Who do you give that round to?
I mean, that is a tough one for me, especially after what you just almost saw. I would have to say it's going to go to Lutz, but at the end there, we almost saw a tap that would have changed the entire fight at a whole.
It's probably going to go to Lutz because what you saw is that Lutz was in a submission, but it wasn't like dying to get out. Nice slam, picking up, turning him sideways, going right for the crossface. Does it again when Remirez tries to scramble. Nice hammers on top.
Look at Lutz just being the aggressor, but Remirez is biding his time, and look at this, he throws it down, but he still doesn't let it go. Now, it came up a little, and that might have helped him.
But when someone tries to pick you up like that, you got underhook the leg, it works like an emergency break. They can't posture up anymore. That's when you know they're in trouble.
This is an unbelievable fight here coming up to round number 2. You're sitting in the corner of Remirez right now. You're like, hey, look, you were in trouble at the beginning of this, but great job at the end. What do you tell him?
If I'm him, if I'm his team, I'm either telling him to do what he started the round previously. Get off the fence, strike with him in the middle of the cage, and just don't surrender bottom position, whatever you do. Look, he got the triangle, but he's going to be more slippery now, and Lutz is going to be looking for it. You just don't want to be underneath.
Tucker Lutz in the red corner, Oscar Remirez in the blue corner. Referee Todd McGovern gets them ready to go here for round number 2. This is scheduled for a 5-minute round right here. Boom, they touch gloves, and here we go. Standing toe-to-toe right in the middle. Rights and lefts from Tucker Lutz right off the bat. That was a little awkward. I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, beautiful right hand over the lazy jab of Remirez.
That was 4-5.
Remirez is effectively defending himself, so should not get stopped here.
It was almost like Remirez got caught sleeping, like he just wasn't paying attention.
Look, when you're going to throw a jab, you don't just stick it out. You got to pump it. You're not going to knock anyone out with it, but it should sting when it lands on your opponent. And you need to bring it back the same way you throw it. If you don't, an athlete like Lutz, who may not have their best counters, but is a good athlete and has a good sense of athletic timing, is just going to read you right away and make you pay.
What a great jab. Knocked Remirez to the ground, and then Tucker jumped on him quickly with his red gloves and just started just throwing just rights and lefts.
So here's the question. We know that Remirez has a fantastic guard. Does he have enough potency to use it in the second round again?
And it's when you see a guy give on top of another opponent and start throwing rights and lefts, and you hear the 2 hits.
Oh, he's about to hit a butterfly sweep. Couldn't quite get it.
You just see the head just bounce off the bottom of the ring after you get hit in the face, and then the back of your head is just rocking. Those were great rights from Tucker Lutz. We saw this earlier in the evening, just a guy trying to just survive here on the bottom and just doesn't want to get up. Just trying to make his opponent go after.
Fantastic job. He couldn't quite finish the sweep, but if he can just get, it looks like Remirez is a little bit tired. He did a great job. He had a nice butterfly hook, tilted him over, and even covered the same side to get him to stop. Lutz was able to post, but so was he. He just didn't quite have enough gas to finish it.
Remirez seems technically like he is a great fighter, but Lutz, even though he may not be as technical, is stronger.
Yeah, we noticed it looked like there was a bit of a physical difference. You're seeing it now. I think it's a great point, Kevin. You can tell Remirez has the skills. He's a very talented guy. It's just hard to do that if someone, and maybe Lutz isn't quite as technically as good, but he doesn't need to be. He is technical enough. And that strength differential just wears you out and mentally can make you go, well, if my best techniques don't work, what does?
Lutz just laying on him and just constantly just being a poison pill right now. Both fighters right in the middle or close to the middle of the ring. And Lutz has just been trying to land these rights, and he just slamming Remirez's head off the bottom of the ring.
I was going to say right up until now, though, I wasn't seeing effective ground and pound from him. He needs to stand. Remirez has to stand, find a way to scramble and stand.
This is the other thing
He's going to let him up. Wow.
Oh, wow. What was that?
Remirez needs to be careful. He's about to get lifted.
Lutz in the red gloves, Remirez in the blue gloves. These fights are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Is Remirez going to sit for this guillotine?
Let's see if we can get this in there. I feel like Lutz is strong enough just to pick this kid up and throw him where he wants to throw him right now. He's got both his arms just locked up underneath him.
Looks like he might be locking up an anaconda. I just can't see from this angle.
Tough to see when they're all the way across on the other side of the ring from the table. Ramirez looks really tired, just laying his head on Lutz, and Lutz is so strong.
It does look like he has an anaconda, yes. He needs to gator roll to his left. He needs to dive his head on the inside space here and then roll over to put the kind of pressure on that choke that he, or it's like a modified power guillotine. It's an arm-in power guillotine from this position.
But this is where the strength of Lutz comes in. We saw this in the first round.
Yeah, when you're sitting on your butt like that, you can't quite get the leverage. You can see the open space right there next to his chest.
And Lutz has got his head turned in there, and I don't think he's got it locked in.
Now he's trying to like readjust the grip. You can see him behind the chin. I'm sure it doesn't feel money, but it's not enough to finish a guy like that. And there goes the head popped out.
Pops right out. Boom, and a right hand immediately. Boom, boom. That's great technique there, just to come out of that and start firing away.
It didn't work, but I also liked how when the submission didn't work for Remirez, he did try to scramble right away. Credit to Lutz for stopping it, but credit also to Remirez for saying, all right, the submission doesn't work, but I'm going to get back to my feet. At least I'm going to try.
There it is, 10 seconds left in round number 2. Lutz in the red corner, Remirez in the blue corner. Lutz on top of Remirez for most of this round. There it is, the end of round number 2. Remirez is tired.
So Lutz dropped him with that right hand that he timed pretty nicely.
Right at the beginning of the round.
But the fact is, we should be giving credit to Remirez. Didn't take nearly as much damage off his back in this round as he did the first round.
Right, here it comes, this quick right. This is going to bang, boom, good night. And I thought it was over. This Remirez kid is a tough kid.
Yeah,
boom,
he's super
boom.
tough.
Look at those
He took
rights.
3 more.
I mean, I told you, and you count the ones off the back of the ring. Look at this. When he lands this, the head is bounce. That's unbelievable, Luke.
Yeah, this is very effective ground and pound. Although his left hand was kind of posted on the mat there, that wasn't so great. But it was certainly enough to win that round.
Absolutely.
I mean, here's the bad news if you're Oscar Remirez. You're down 2 rounds. Here's the good news. You know you have to stop him to win. That means it gives you the license to just go out there and try. Go out there and just give it what you got. The kid seems like he's got a ton of spirit, a ton of heart. Now he just needs to go out there and say, okay, I don't have a choice. I gotta make riskier decisions if I want to win this fight.
And his technique is good.
It's great.
His technique is great. It's just Lutz is just a stronger guy. And he's had him twice, I thought. If this was any other opponent besides Lutz, he may have won this already.
Lutz is also a better wrestler, too. Not just a strength differential, but a skill differential in that department.
Top of government, boom, starts the 3rd round. Here they go, touching gloves right in the middle of the ring. This is the 3rd and final round of this evening's title fight.
By the way, great left hook to start the round again from Remirez, timing the low kick there by Lutz.
Ooh, another good right from Lutz. Just didn't have the zip on it that the first one did in round 2. Look, he just tried to throw him and he just couldn't.
No, he tried to turn him and then push him into the fence. Wasn't a throw. Looking for a single here, and then now trying to scoop the ankle, can't quite do it. Those elbows are not fun, and a great, just can't quite seem to get behind that ankle to scoop it out.
And you can tell that the kid is smart. He wants to do something, and he just can't because Lutz is strong. Oh, good knee from Lutz.
Yeah, in these wrestling positions, Lutz has a lot of answers. And you can see, look how rounded the back of Remirez is, right? He doesn't have a straight back that you need for lifting or turning. That is essential for effective takedowns. He's you can see he's just kind of like muscling it a little bit, partly because he's tired, and partly because Lutz is a handful, but it's that kind of positioning is going to hurt you in terms of executing.
And you can tell Remirez is not a weak kid. I mean, the muscles in his back.
No,
and
he's a well-conditioned athlete.
Yeah,
sure.
just the difference between the strength of Lutz right now and when Remirez is trying to do things to him is not. It's not happening like when he was practicing.
Yeah, Lutz's balance is fantastic too. Now he finally scoops the ankle. Let's see what he can do with it. Uses it to clasp his hands together. Is that going to be enough? We'll see.
Oh, he's just too big.
But this is where his rounded back is killing him. Look how rounded it is, you see?
Yeah, and his face is dug in. He's like he's bent so far over.
He's just not the optimal position to turn and lift.
Absolutely. He's just exhausted after those 2 tries. Just exhausted.
He's there, man. He's there. He's not quite as polished in those exchanges and those positions as Lutz.
Tucker Lutz on top in the red gloves. Oscar Remirez in the blue gloves. At 24 years of age, out of Trident MMA. Just beat tired right now. 15 minutes of fighting.
And if he wants, Lutz can move right to mount here. Now that's a little bit better. He can almost has a semi-lockdown. Oh, no, there's no semi-lockdown there. Nice, beautiful pass. The guard was sort of wide open there, but still just taking advantage of the moment there by Tucker Lutz. And again, look, he kind of lost it there, but look at the left arm of Tucker. He's going to sink it a little bit lower. It's a little open now, and he uses it to punch, but you're eventually going to see him crossface. There you go.
Ooh, he just missed a great move by Remirez 2 times moving out of the way of that elbow.
And the right arm here, the underhooking arm, is preventing Remirez from scrambling.
Lutz in the red gloves. He's on top. Total control. Remirez on the bottom. Has to do something before the end of this fight to win this thing. And it's not like we didn't see Remirez in round number 1 where we went almost the whole entire round with Tucker in charge and almost had him tap out with a triangle.
And here's the bad part. It's like we saw that Remirez has a fantastic guard, but he's not the wrestler that Lutz is. And then once you pass someone's guard, you reduce their ability to give you a submission by a dramatic percentage. So if he wants to, if he can just hang out here and hold it, and you see him pulling up on the left shoulder to keep him flat while he has the right underhook. And there goes the crossface. And look, that crossface is so tight, he's making Remirez look to the left. Look at him grimacing. You see that?
Oh, good elbow.
Everyone talks about, oh, how's your guillotine? How's your armbar? No, how's your crossface? Let me see how you can control position when it matters.
Good, another good elbow. And he's just grinding that elbow into Ramirez's face. Lutz is just putting it on him.
Go for a far side. It looks like maybe straight armbar.
And somebody is bleeding now. That cut somebody's eye. Remirez has a huge cut on his eye. And there's blood everywhere.
And see the left elbow, or excuse me, the right elbow here of Remirez. Now it's sort of down. But you see, look, that right leg scoots in by Lutz trying to occupy that space. That's going to keep Remirez flat on his back.
Lots of elbows from Lutz to Ramirez's face.
Boy, Remirez is a tough guy, man.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the blood coming from him. Remirez is just getting punished here.
Yeah, this is a bad spot. Look, but he rolls all the way through his base. Just can't quite seem to finish it. He gets so close.
Just the blood coming out of Ramirez's face now. I mean, and this is when they start to get slippery. We've seen this before. Not tonight. There goes the mouth guard from an elbow. 10 seconds left.
Even though they might stop it even before the bell.
I mean, he's just letting him have it. He's just going to let him continue on. 10 seconds left.
He's within his rights. Yeah.
That's it.
They did.
He stopped it right
and they did.
1 second left. 1 second left to go in round number 3. Todd McGovern stopped the fight. I don't think it would have made a difference, but he didn't let it go to the cards. What an amazing fight from Tucker Lutz tonight. Unbelievable.
That is what the people say, what do you call a grinder? What does it mean to be a grinder? That's what it means. Wearing someone down physically, overwhelming them through time, and when it matters the most, when they're at their weakest, finding that inner demon inside to punish them enough to make it hurt and to make the fight stop.
And the guts from this kid, Oscar Remirez.
Oh, he's got a bright future. We saw so many flashes of brilliance from him. He just ran into a guy who had the better control positions, was a little bit physically stronger, and just had an answer for some of the better weapons that usually work for Oscar Remirez.
When we come back, we'll strap the belt on Tucker Lutz. This was an open belt. He's the new Cagezilla champ. Chris Fuller will give us the call. It's Kevin Schaefer, Luke Thomas, live from Ashburn, Virginia. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our main event. We're going to get the call from our ring announcer, Chris Fuller.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one time for these two warriors, putting on a great show, both worthy of the main event. Great job, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, referee Todd McGovern has called a stop to the fight. 4 minutes and 59 seconds into the third round. Your winner by TKO and new Cagezilla 145-pound champion in the red corner, Tucker Lutz.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker Lutz comes away with the open belt here for the 145 featherweights. What an amazing, amazing fight. You couldn't ask for a better fight. Even though it was a lot of ground and pound, that we didn't see a lot of striking, it was still just a great fight.
This is what we mean when we say these guys don't want to win cheaply. Winning at 4:59, all he had to do was just ride out position. He didn't have to go for the finish, but he decided to go for the finish because that's the kind of warrior that Tucker Lutz is.
Look at these rights and lefts. I mean, Tucker was in charge for most of the fight. There was a little chance that he had Remirez had a triangle in the first round and may have had him in the second round, but the strength of Tucker Lutz is unbelievable.
That's the story of this fight. It's that Tucker Lutz probably feels so great, not just because he won, but because he had to earn it from a credentialed grappler like Oscar Remirez. But the wrestling, the strength by Tucker Lutz, the control positions, just too much for Remirez.
Unbelievable. For Kevin Schaefer, for Luke Thomas, we want to thank you all for joining us here at Cagezilla in Ashburn, Virginia.